We end a profitable week 4 with 2 Monday Night Football games. Let's talk some pigskin. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we are back to talk some more NFL action. That's right, not one, but 2 Monday Night Football games, and man, oh man, are they beauties. That's for sure. But week 4, 11-4 overall. That's what I'm talking about. 9-4 on Sunday. We will go over the full recap in just a little bit, but it was a nice day for us. Quick reminder, I will be back for the start of the MLB playoffs. Video coming out Monday night for that Tuesday 4-game slate of the wild card round. It's that time in the MLB. That's right. But anyways, any graphics you see in this video are from OUTLIER, the best betting research tool on the market today. Click that link below. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it. And like always, we start with a dad joke. More like a regular joke here, but here we go. I asked this man, after 80 years, you still call your wife sweetie, honey, and darling. What's the secret? He said, well, I forgot her name 10 years ago, and I'm afraid to ask her. That's not bad. In this video, we're going to recap week 4, and it was another crazy week 4 in the NFL. And then we're going to preview and give my best bet for the Jets and Dolphins, and then do the exact same for the Bengals and the Broncos. And then, of course, we'll finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Come join this awesome community. But let's get it rolling, and that means it's recap time. All right, there is the Sunday recap for week 4. We start with Rams team total over 26.5. My goodness, this did not look good for most of the game. I don't know how it came through, but it did. Tutu Atwell with a long, deep pass when they was tied 20-20, and it was absolutely beautiful. I was sweating out the extra point, but they scored 27 and win the game. That was tough. I thought that was a loss, to be honest with you. Patriots -5, never a doubt, absolutely crushed them. The Panthers are horrendous still. Falcons +2. A lot of people did not like this one, but they bounced back. They came back home, beat Marcus Mariota, and got the job done. Should have just taken money line, but you know what? +2, we'll take a winner. Packers -6. They tied. That's all I have to say. Packers defense. If we're going to anoint this defense as the top defense in the NFL, and we're going to anoint them as Super Bowl contenders, you cannot lose to the Browns and tie the Cowboys and give up 40 to the CeeDee Lamb-less Cowboys. They had no pressure on Dak. At one point, they had 0 sacks in the fourth quarter. I don't know if they ever got a sack. I don't remember, but it was brutal. I mean, this whole Micah Parsons, I know he got hurt during the game, but man, him in this pass rush, it was ugly. Kudos to the Cowboys. They played well, and Packers -6 was the only one that cost us a 4-0 sweep on the game bets. And then player props, just a ho-hum 3-3. Luckily, all the other bets, carried us this time. But Carson Wentz, we started out with a loser. It was a rough 90 seconds to end the half. He had 8 pass attempts in 90 seconds. It's got to be a record or something. And then they fell behind. Again, my handicap on it was that they weren't going to be down the entire game by a score, 2 scores. They had to come back. He threw it a million times. And again, 2-minute warning. It just all worked against us. So we take the loss. But I faded 3 stud running back unders. I know a lot of you guys did not like it. We went 2-1. McCaffrey under 74.5 rush yards. Got the win there. Jahmyr Gibbs. This one I was going back and forth. Is it Gibbs or is it going to be Monty? I made the wrong call. There was a read there. I just made the wrong call. Gibbs was good. And he went over. And then Brock Bowers. I can't bet on a Raider anymore. Geno Smith is horrendous. I never thought I'd say this, but I am happy to have Sam Darnold because Geno is horrendous. I just do not miss seeing those interceptions. But Saquon Barkley, the other guy under 81.5 rush yards, probably the best read of the day. Not even close. Just this running game and Saquon are not the same. His lines are going to start going down and down and down. And then Tolbert, what a legend. He should have had his third one in the early fourth quarter, I think it was. Dak overthrew him. And then he gets the job done with his third catch before overtime, and then he got a 4th in overtime as well. But we will take that. 3-3 in the props, and then 3-0 touchdown sweep. How about that one? Travion Henderson got the job done. Devontae Adams, again, just a red zone machine. And Amarian Hampton on like a 54-yard scamper gets a touchdown. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, I wish I put more than a quarter unit on those now, going 3-0. But if you parlayed them together, we got a nice winner there. So with the 2-0 Thursday Night Football, you can see right there 11-4, up 2.27 units. Obviously losing the 1-unit player prop did not help there. But you're going to see some more 1 units sprinkled in here as we get more and more into the season. And you'll probably start seeing it in week 5. But that's what we got for the week 4 recap. Now let's take a look at page 2 and look at the season overall record. because we like to be transparent, show you what's been going on. Sides totals 8 and 9, player props 17 and 12, anytime touchdown bets 7 and 6, and there's all the unit count, which is obviously the main thing that matters. And so overall this year, 32 and 27, up 2.02 units. Let's start that slow climb and keep rolling up the getting into some profit here for this season. But that's what we got for the entire recap. Now let's talk Monday Night Football. All right, this first one takes us out to South Beach or Miami or somewhere in Florida, where the Dolphins host the New York Jets. Dolphins minus 2.5, total 45.5. This game sucks. Yep, but we're going to get a winner. We have a battle of two 0-3 teams. Dolphins lost by 25, 6, and 10 so far. Jets have lost two really close games by 2 points each, and then got crushed by Buffalo 30-10. Injury report, not a ton to report here other than Justin Fields is back and ready to roll. Cornerback Storm Duck, still a great name, for Miami is out. Tight end Darren Waller is probably going to make his debut for Miami. In case you didn't even know, he is in the league still after retiring. Jets and Dolphins split the two meetings last year. Miami won 32-26 at home. Jets won 32-20 at their place. Some trends and stats. I actually think we went over this first one in the game bets video already, but New York teams are now 5-34 straight up in the last 39 night games. I don't know what it is about nighttime, but they're scared. Tua's 5-0 straight up, 3-2 ATS versus the Jets in his career as a starter. But Tua's also 1-3 straight up and 0-4 ATS in Miami on primetime. This is the fourth primetime game in week 4 later where both teams are winless. The other three instances, all three home teams and favorites won in that situation. So let's get into the best bet now. And first, actually, before we do that, let me just give you a lean on a side or total. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This game is tough. I would lead Miami. If you can get under a field goal, Fields is coming back after concussion. What are we going to get from him? This Jets offense, I know they look great in week 1, but they didn't look good since then, really, at least in week 2. It's a small sample size, but Miami showed some signs of life offensively lately, and they played hard against Buffalo. I was really impressed by them not giving up and keeping that game close. And then Miami just plays better at home in general. So, again, this is tough. I would lean Miami, but that's not my best bet. Let's just stick with the under theme. We've been doing pretty good with unders this weekend. Tyreek Hill under 5.5 receptions. This is juicy. Little minus 130 on Bet365. It's minus 135 on BetMGM as well. This is a half unit play, but Tyreek Hill, let's talk about him this season. Week 1, 4 catches on 6 targets. Week 2, 6 catches on 7 targets. Week 3, 5 catches on 10 targets. So he is under this in 2 of 3 games already. And now the game script. They've been playing from behind most of the season because they're not a good team. I expect that to be a little different. Like I said, I like Miami here. They are the favorites at home, so they might not need to just air it out all game trying to catch up. And then Tyreek's usage used to be a guy who would catch a lot of quick passes, screen passes, things like that. That's going to Devon Achane now. He's not just a running back. He is flat out a receiver. The running back, though, Achane, it has the same amount of targets as Tyreek through 3 weeks with 23 targets. And another way you can see this is how deep he's going is Tyreek Hill's a 15.3 ADOT. That's average depth of target. That means he's going deep. Not surprising, he is the deep guy, but again, he used to, at least last year a little bit, catch more short passes. This leads to inefficient nights, and you saw that earlier when he had 5 catches on 10 targets last week. So, I'm not going to touch the yardage because it takes one big play here. I like the under receptions a lot more. And then facing the Jets defense, Sauce Gardner, if you don't know already, he's been shadowing the other team's number 1 receiver quite a bit this year, which is a change from the years past. Week 1, he was on DK Metcalf on 90% of snaps. DK had 4 catches. Week 2, Shakir had 1 catch. There's no number 1 receiver for Buffalo there. And then week 3, Mike Evans had just 4 catches as well. And he was in coverage on Evans on 60% of snaps. So only 1 wide receiver this year has gone over this receptions line versus the Jets. It was Emeka Egbuka, the number 2 wide receiver for Tampa. He had 6, so just over. And then Jets can be run on this year. And I expect them to try to get Achane going finally. Not like Miami has some elite run offense or anything. But with a potential positive game script here, I really like the under. So give me Cheetah under 5.5 receptions as my first best bet. All right, this next one takes us out to Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos host the Cincinnati Bengals. The Broncos minus 7.5, total 44.5. This would be a great game if Joe Burrow was playing. But we have another beauty here. Broncos coming in 1-2. They're really 2-1. I'm bitter. I had them on the money line. A ridiculous last-second penalty on the Colts field goal attempt. You guys know all about it. But either way, Bengals coming in at 2-1. But they're also really, really close to being 0-3 if you look at their games. Browning, obviously now the quarterback here. They just got crushed 48-10 last week at Minnesota. They've won 2 close games against Cleveland and Jacksonville. They could have lost both. Injury report. Bengals, other than Burrow, tight end Noah Fant is out with a concussion. Broncos wide receiver Mims is questionable. Decently healthy other than that. Last season, Bengals won 30-24 home. That was with Burrow at quarterback, though. And then some trends and stats. Broncos 8-1 straight up in their last 9 games as a favorite. Bo Nix has just a 24.3% success rate in week 3. That's the worst of any quarterback by over 7%. He has not been good this year. Jake Browning, 4-4 straight up as a starter in his career. And then head coach Zach Taylor for Cincy has coached 3 night games without Joe Burrow, and he was an underdog in 3. He won outright in 2 of those 3 as 10 and 14.5 point underdogs. So he's been here before. But enough of that stuff. Let's get into the best bet. It's another player prop. It's got, again, on this one real quick before I get to the player prop, side total, my goodness, I have to lean Denver minus 7.5, but laying over a touchdown with Bo Nix, who's playing like a bottom 7, bottom 5 quarterback right now, is hard to do. But that's my lean. Again, I'm not that confident. But I do like this one. Player prop. Give me J.K. Dobbins over 60.5 rush yards, minus 118 on BetMGM for a half unit. Dobbins has had a great season so far for the Broncos. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, he's over this in all 3 games, 63, 76, and 83 rush yards, averaging a huge 5.6 rush attempts. His longest rush in all 3 weeks, how about 19, 23, and 41 yards? He has been very explosive. Now let's talk his rush attempts because it might alarm you a little bit. Week 1, 16 attempts. Week 2, 14 attempts. Last week, only 11 attempts. Even on the 11, he still had 83 yards. But last week, they played the Chargers. If you don't know the Chargers, they know how to hold on to the ball for a while. Broncos only had the ball for 23 minutes and 40 seconds. Chargers over 36 minutes. So I'm really not that worried about his attempts going down. It wasn't like he was getting it taken from someone else. But his attempts line for this one, how about 14.5? I mean, if we get 15.5 or 15 attempts from him, he's going to need to average around 4 yards per carry. Hash brown math. No need to worry about Harvey either because, like I said, 6'5" and 2 carries so far. So when he had the low attempts, it wasn't because some running back was taking it from him or anything. And then he's facing the Bengals. My goodness. 13th in the NFL, giving up 4.4 yards per attempt. Bottom 10 defense when it comes to success rate versus the run defensively. They're ranked 27th in rushing yards allowed overall to running backs. It's just not a very good run defense or defense in general. But let's talk some running backs to face him already. Jordan Mason, how about 116 rush yards? Tootin and ETN combined for 113 for Jacksonville. Week 1, he faced Ford and Sampson for Cleveland. They're horrendous. They combined for 37 yards. But game script, obviously, I think the Broncos are going to play from ahead here, which means we're going to see a lot more running from Dobbins. And if they can control the pace and control this a little bit more than last week, like I said, I think he gets 14, 15 plus attempts. That means this line is a little too low for me in this matchup. So give me Dobbins over 60.5 rush yards. That is my second and final best bet for Monday Night Football. Thank you guys for watching, as always. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 2 best bets for Monday night. Tyreek Hill under 5.5 receptions at minus 130 for a half unit. J.K. Dobbins over 60.5 rush yards, minus 118 for a half unit. Thank you guys for watching, as always. Appreciate the support. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But enjoy Monday Night Football, and we'll talk to you soon.